Good morning, afternoon, or evening, dear Yoga TXers. Thank you for being here again in this beautiful temple in Belgium. We've got the sun shining today, which is not always in Belgium, but we've been quite lucky with the weather the last few days. So happy to share the space with you, and a beautiful contrast to the polarity of what will be invited today for our practice. We'll begin with a meditation today, and the theme and the invitation is really looking at the shadow side of our human experience. And so if you've never worked with the shadow and you've heard this terminology used and thought, what does this even mean? Really, the shadow are the parts of ourselves that maybe we're not proud of, that we might even feel shame around, that we might feel guilt around, the desires that we might have, the pleasures, the fantasies, or the arrogance or the selfishness or the more undesired aspects of the character that society and so many people tell you that is not acceptable. And so in our yoga practice, the invitation is for you to really be honest with yourself about where your internal storms are and what you have difficulty with, because it's not hidden from us. We might feel that no one else sees it, but we know what's happening within ourselves. We know what things have showed up consistently in our relationships, which have showed up consistently in our work relationships. We know what is truly beneath the surface, even if we think other people don't see it. And in reality, everyone sees it. The shadow, we see it. And so the desire and the invitation is for us to embrace that and for us to work with it, because when we can pull the shadow out into the light, we can find the gold nuggets within it, and we can begin to use that energy to regain our whole life force. And so for each of us, this practice is going to bring up different things. And I encourage you after the practice, because this is a short practice, to really sit with yourself and to journal or to dance or to make art or to make music in a way to integrate what comes up. Because if we just come onto the yoga mat, we move through something and we run into our daily lives and back onto our screens or our phones or our work, then we might miss the opportunity of something surfacing that can really be beneficial for us. So that being said, we're going to start with a short meditation. You can shut your eyes down. Come into breath, equal inhalations and exhalations through the nostrils. And let the breath stem from the navel, moving all the way up through the rib cage, through the diaphragm, across the chest. And relax the muscles in the face as you continue to breathe, listening for that ujjayi breath, the rolling waves. And begin to imagine, and maybe even in this moment, exactly where you are, visualize a storm beginning to start around you. Maybe it's clouds or rain or thunder, but you're in the center, untouched here, dry, but you can see the storm. And the storm begins to circle around you, and you continue to breathe, focusing on the breath, equal inhalations and exhalations through the nostrils. As you focus on your breath and stay centered, you can see the storm. You can appreciate its power, its destruction, its chaos without being affected by it in the center. Stay steady in your breath. can begin to feel sunshine come through. The rain comes to dripping, the darkness becomes light. And in this visualization, you are standing in the center of this after storm, and you look down at your feet and they're soggy with water on the muddy earth, but sun is shining on you. You feel warm. And begin to visualize different lights and shapes, geometric figures coming out from your feet into the earth and connecting to everything around you. So these shapes spread out into the trees or the forest or wherever you may be. You breathe deeply and know that everything is connected. That even in this darkness and in this storm, that you are strong enough to move through it. And then see the beauty of the aftermath as the colors, the shapes travel from your feet and connect you to everything else around you, from the wet earth. And take a deep breath in, deep sigh out. And bring the hands together at heart center, bowing head to heart. And bringing into mind here, what is one thing in your life that tends to create storms? For me, vulnerably and transparently, it can be this belief that I am not lovable or worthy. Maybe there's a belief that you have that you're inherently bad, or that you're not lovable, or that there's not enough time, or a fear of death, a fear of change. Whatever it may be, everything is accepted, but notice this part of yourself that tends to create storms. And maybe there's a place in your body that this lives. Maybe just touch on a area in the body with the palms that feels a bit tender and breathe into it. And know it step by step, day by day, breath by breath, we can give a little bit more attention to these parts of ourselves that no one really claps for. We can give it a little bit more love. So throughout your practice, carry your storm with you, carry the shadow with you like an old friend, and just begin to observe and notice what comes up for you. Take an inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands to the back of the head, clasp the hands, let the head drop back, looking up, opening the heart. And continue to breathe. And we have to know that no one else is going to cull or pacify the internal storms that we have. It's our work to see these parts of ourselves and to love them and work with them to find more skillfulness. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right, right hand down behind you, left hand on the right knee, nice and long through the spine. Twisting out the gut. And sometimes when we really sit with our shadows and they have been hidden for a very long time, we can feel a bit nauseous. There can be some pain in the chest, some pain in the belly. The physical practice of yoga, like in this posture, when we feel that, we can kind of wring out the center line by doing twists and breathing deeply. Because working with this element is also taking accountability for how long it's been there and waiting for attention. Take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand on the left knee. So if you're feeling any unease in the body, breathe into it, especially with the exhalation. Send the exhalation to those parts of the body that are just going, ugh. You might feel tightness or contraction, that's okay. This lets us know that there's a place to work on. So there are no bad sensations. Let's take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the knees. Inhale, pull the chest forward, open the heart space, look up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Let the head drop in. Inhale, rocking forward, open the heart. Then exhale, rounding back. Inhale forward. Then exhale back. Come forward, center, and stretch the legs out in front of you. We're going to come into a forward fold. If you have a really tight back line, you might want to bring a block or a couch cushion underneath the seat. Keep the knees bent if you need. Let's take an inhale, sit up nice and straight. And exhale, slowly fold forward. And do your best to keep the spine long. If you feel like you're rounding, come up a little bit more, stay on the palms, so you don't have to fold so deeply. As we sit here longer, maybe the upper body wants to fold deeper, but that's not the point. You don't need to have your chest touching your thighs like every yoga picture you see. We're just finding length in the back line, softness. And peel the chest up. Bend the right knee and bring the right foot to meet the left thigh, coming into Janu Shirsasana. Square the shoulders over the left leg. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold down. So again, keep the spine straight. I do have a lot of flexibility, so you may see that I'm folding really deeply. That doesn't mean that your body needs to. So when the spine is no longer straight and you're rounding, just plant the palms on the earth, stay there. And your breath will always be a litmus test. If you are not breathing easy, change something. Shift. So this is also how the shadow, these darker parts of ourselves, become unseen because we stop paying attention to the subtleness of our movement. So slow down, tune in, and be here. And what is whispering to you to be known? Let's take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand behind the right hip. Press the hips forward and up, left foot down, left arm reaching back. Nice and long through the whole front line. And slowly bring the hips down. Let's stretch the right leg forward, bend the left knee, left foot to meet the right thigh. Sit up tall. And really treat your practice like royalty, you know, like every movement is very intentional. Take an inhale, exhale, slowly fold. We don't rush in when we're being royal and noble. We like take our time. So really be soft, like kind of like a praying cat, moving very slowly. And you'll notice imbalances from one side to the next. One side might be more open, one side might be more tense. And again, this is something to check in. My right side is very open and my left is not. Or my upper body is very open and my lower is not. We can start to look into the energetics of different parts of the body where they are accordingly to different traditional Chinese meridians and emotions. And the body is a treasure chest. Let's take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand down behind you, press the hips up, right foot down, reach the right arm back nice and long through the front line. And slowly, slowly the hips come down. Bring the feet out in front of you. Create a diamond shape here. The feet kind of open like a book, hands on the shins. Take an inhale. And exhale, slowly fold. Keep the spine long. And you can use the elbows to rest on the knees to open them up a bit more. If you really tune in, you might even feel the trembling beneath the surface of the physical body. And we'll be very surprised when we really get into the subtleties of embodiment, how much our body is saying to us, how much information is there. It's this incredible tool. Anything going on the wrong path in our life, our body will let us know. It'll whisper to us. And slowly coming up, taking a hold of the shins. Let the knees open a little bit and let the head drop in. So just coming into a moment of softness. We're lengthening through the neck, and through the trapezius, the rhomboids between the shoulder blades, but also just a practice and a posture of surrender. And let's slowly come up, take a hold of the shins, and we're going to slowly rock onto our backs. As you come down onto your back, rock from side to side. Give a little massage to your lower back, let your head relax. And take your feet down to the earth, hip-width distance apart. Take the arms out to the sides. Let your knees drop to the right. Let your head drop to the left. So passive twist. And there's a beautiful kind of essence to having the back of our heart connecting to the earth. Our shoulders connecting to the earth. You might even be able to feel the heartbeat a bit more here. And grounding practices with our bodies on the ground are so nurturing for those days that we're really overwhelmed by our shadows, by our grief, our sadness, shame or guilt, deep, deep loneliness. We just allow the earth to hold us, so the ground to hold you. Let's come back through center, knees drop to the left, head to the right. Let's come back through center. Take the knees into the chest and take happy baby. Take the bottoms of the feet. Let the knees kind of wobble from side to side. And this is also a beautiful practice just to come into the innocence of that childlike version of ourselves. It's still very much inside, that wants love, that wants attention from mom or dad. she's still there, he's still there. It's important that we still play with these aspects of the psyche, as they tend to run the show in times of chaos. So we gotta appreciate these more juvenile, unskillful parts of ourselves. And slowly bring the legs straight up towards the ceiling, inversion. Stay here, or if you have a block, you might want to lift the hips and bring the block beneath the hips. And if you don't have a block, don't worry about it. Just stay with the legs straight up, arms alongside the body. For those of us with really tight back lines, can be a really challenging pose to do. So you could put a couch cushion under the butt as well. Anything that you need to do to modify for yourself. Just time, space, stillness, silence. All of these are medicine. And before we distract ourselves to run away from our uncomfortable feelings, just a little capsule of silence, a capsule of stillness. And slowly bring the feet down to the ground. If you're on the block, stay on the block. If you're not, feet to the ground, knees fall in together. And I do encourage, this is our last pose, if you have a couch cushion or a block, to bring it underneath the hips. So you lift the hips, bring the block or the couch cushion beneath. So we have some compression at the lower back. And we can kind of just wiggle from side to side. We can stretch the arms up overhead if we're on that block. Legs forward. And just getting some compression in the lower back helps to release any stagnant energy here. The back line is associated in many ways with fear. So when we're able to release this energy, sometimes we're able to find a bit more courage to face challenges in our life. And slowly bend the knees, plant the feet, remove the block, find your Shavasana, take up space, shut the eyes down, starfish out. And you'll hear the crystal bowl again. Let the energy just, the sound just resonate and move through you, the vibration. And I'll offer a song to you that I wrote this last year in my time of really facing my shadow. It's in Spanish, but the words are calm, calm my friend, calm my friend, calm my friend. Everything is okay, everything is okay, everything is okay. I am here. So this is more about my higher self singing to me that like everything was going to be okay, just to calm down, to breathe, and that she or he was here. Todo está bien. Todo está bien. Estoy aquí. Estoy aquí. Estoy aquí. And feel free to stay here for as long as you need. My voice will softly trail off into silence. Take space, ground, integrate, journal, drink hot tea, dance, share with somebody a fear or desire that you have or a truth that has been unspoken. And deep blessings to you on your journey towards more dancing in grace with the shadow. Namaste.